Love doesn't always arrive with grand gestures or dramatic declarations. More often, it's hidden in the quiet details, the things someone does without making a big deal out of it. When a man starts falling for you, it's rarely loud. It's slow, soft, and often shown through small, thoughtful acts that speak far louder than words ever could. These are the moments where real feelings begin to take shape, not through expensive gifts or over-the-top promises, but through genuine effort, attention, and care. In the early stages of love, most men don't rush to confess their emotions. Some may not even realize they're falling until they find themselves doing things they wouldn't normally do, just to make you smile, check on your well-being, or stay connected in subtle ways. They may not say, "I love you" right away, but their actions will start painting that picture one piece at a time. And if you pay close attention, you'll see the signs everywhere, in the way he treats you, listens to you, and tries to be present even in the smallest parts of your life. These small acts might seem ordinary at first glance, but they carry meaning. A man who remembers your favorite snack, checks if you've eaten, sends you a song out of nowhere, or goes quiet when you mention another guy isn't just being nice. He's showing you how he feels, even if he doesn't say it out loud. His feelings are quietly stitched into everyday moments, into the way he shows up when you're sad, or how he offers help without needing to be asked. These aren't random behaviors. They're emotional expressions that say, "You matter to me." In a world where so many people are used to being treated as temporary or replaceable, these small acts stand out. They make you feel seen, heard, and important, not because someone told you so, but because they showed you. And real love is always shown more than it's spoken. A man who truly cares won't always be poetic, but he'll be present. He'll do the little things that make your days easier, your heart lighter, and your trust stronger. This list of 15 small acts isn't about checking boxes or decoding mixed signals. It's about recognizing the real, honest signs of emotional connection, the kind that builds slowly, quietly, but deeply. If you've been wondering whether his feelings are genuine, this guide will help you see beyond the surface and into the ways his heart might already be reaching for yours. Because in the end, it's not the loudest love that lasts. It's the one that shows up, day by day, with small, consistent actions that say everything words can't. Let's dive in and explore the 15 small acts that reveal when a man's feelings for you are far bigger than he lets on. 1. He saves little things you've given him. When a man truly begins to develop feelings for you, he often finds value in things others might overlook, especially the small, seemingly insignificant gifts or items you've given him. It could be a handwritten note, a tiny souvenir, a wrapper from a shared snack, or even a silly doodle. These things may appear ordinary to anyone else, but to him, they become quiet reminders of your presence, your energy, and the moments you've shared. Holding on to them isn't just a habit, it's a reflection of emotional attachment. Saving these little things means that he cherishes the connection growing between you. It's not about the object itself, but the feeling it carries. When he looks at it, he remembers a conversation, a laugh, a day that felt special because you were part of it. It becomes his way of keeping you close, even when you're not around. He might not display it openly, but he knows exactly where he's kept it, and it matters more than he lets on. People don't hold on to things that mean nothing to them. When a man chooses to keep something small that came from you, it's because it has emotional weight. He's attaching feelings to that object, whether it reminds him of how thoughtful you are, how funny you made him feel, or simply how much he enjoys having you in his life. It becomes a symbol of the bond he's quietly nurturing. This act is deeply personal. He may not talk about it, and he may not even want you to know. But that's the beauty of it. When someone treasures even the smallest part of you, it means they're already holding on emotionally. And in a world full of distractions, someone who chooses to save something just because it came from you is already falling, slowly but surely. 2. He remembers things you said weeks ago. When a man is genuinely catching feelings, one of the clearest signs is how deeply he listens and remembers. It's easy for people to nod along during conversations, but it takes emotional presence to retain the small things you said days or even weeks ago. When he brings up a detail you casually mentioned long ago, it's not just a memory, it's proof that he was truly paying attention. It means your words stayed with him, not because he was trying to impress you, but because he values what you say. This type of memory isn't driven by obligation. He's not memorizing facts to win your approval. He remembers because your voice, your thoughts, your experiences matter to him. Whether it was a story about your childhood, something you're passionate about, or even just a favorite food, the fact that it's stuck with him says everything. He's not just present in the moment. He's carrying pieces of you with him long after the conversation ends. It also reveals the emotional weight he gives to your presence in his life. He's building a mental archive of who you are, your preferences, your dreams, your values. And when those details naturally surface in his words or actions, it's a reflection of growing emotional intimacy. It shows he's not just hearing you, he's feeling what you share. These remembered details may seem small, but they're part of something bigger, a quiet attachment that's building over time. Because when someone starts falling for you, even your most casual words become unforgettable to them. And when your voice lingers in someone's mind long after the moment has passed, it's a powerful sign their heart is slowly starting to follow. 3. He checks if you've eaten or slept well. When a man begins to develop real feelings for you, his concern for your basic well-being becomes more visible and consistent. Asking if you've eaten or slept well might seem like a simple, routine question, but it's actually a quiet form of care. It shows that he's thinking about your comfort, your health, and your daily life even when he's not physically there. It means your condition matters to him, not just emotionally, but practically too. This kind of attention reflects a nurturing instinct. He doesn't just want to hear about your dreams or laugh at your jokes. He wants to know that you're taking care of yourself. When someone likes you deeply, they begin to pay attention to how you're really doing. A missed meal or a sleepless night isn't just information to them. It's something that stirs a gentle kind of worry, not the dramatic kind, but the quiet, persistent kind that comes from genuine affection. These check-ins aren't just about politeness. They're usually consistent, thoughtful, and often come at unexpected moments. When he texts or calls to ask how you're feeling, whether you had dinner, or if you've gotten enough rest, it means he's carrying you in his thoughts. He may not always know how to say, "I care" directly, but he says it in these small, meaningful ways. It's not about control or obligation. It's about emotional connection. When a man checks on your most basic needs, he's showing that your well-being is important to him on a personal level. And when someone's heart starts to wrap itself around your daily life like that, it's no longer just interest, it's care, and it's growing deeper every day. He subtly tries to make you laugh when you're down. When a man starts to truly care about you, your emotions begin to matter to him in a deeper, more personal way. He becomes more sensitive to your moods, especially when you're feeling low. One of the quiet ways he expresses his growing affection is by trying to lift your spirits, not in a loud or forced way, but gently, with subtle attempts to make you smile or laugh. These efforts might seem small on the surface, but they're filled with intention. He pays attention to the shifts in your energy. If he notices you're quiet, distant, or not your usual self, he doesn't ignore it. Instead, he may crack a soft joke, bring up a funny memory, tease you playfully, or send a light-hearted message, all in hopes of seeing your face brighten again. It's his way of saying, I notice you. I care that you're not okay. Let me help you feel a little better. These moments aren't about showing off or demanding attention. They're about emotional presence. He may not know exactly what's wrong, but he wants to be part of your comfort. He wants to remind you, in the most tender way, that you're not alone. That even in the middle of a rough moment, someone is there trying to bring back your laughter, even if just for a second. This kind of care doesn't come from casual interest. It comes from growing affection and emotional investment. When someone wants to ease your sadness, especially when they do it quietly and gently, it's because your happiness is beginning to matter to them more than their own. And when a man puts effort into your smile, it's often because he's already falling in love with the sound of it. 5. He adjusts his schedule just to see you. When a man is truly catching feelings, time becomes one of the most meaningful things he's willing to give. Life gets busy between work, responsibilities, and personal goals. But if he's making adjustments in his schedule just to see you, it speaks volumes about where his priorities are shifting. He may not say it directly, but changing plans, delaying tasks, or finding pockets of time to be near you is his quiet way of showing that you're becoming more important to him. This doesn't mean he's abandoning everything else. It means he's creating space for you. Maybe he cuts a meeting short, moves around errands, or says no to something he would have otherwise attended, just so he can have a moment with you. It might not be grand or dramatic, but it's intentional. It's him choosing you again and again, because being around you brings him a kind of peace and happiness that's hard to ignore. Time is one of the most valuable things a person can offer. When someone offers it freely, despite a busy life, it's not just convenience, it's effort. And effort, especially the quiet kind, that isn't performed for praise, is one of the truest signs of growing affection. He doesn't need to announce what he gave up to see you. He just shows up, and that speaks louder than any explanation. This kind of behavior is rooted in emotional investment. It shows that seeing you isn't just something he wants, it's something he feels better for. And when a man begins to rearrange his life, even in small ways, to make room for you, it's because you're already starting to take up a place in his heart he hadn't planned for, but doesn't want to let go. 6. He sends you random texts just to check in. When a man is truly developing feelings for you, his communication starts to carry a different kind of weight. One of the most subtle yet powerful signs is when he sends you random texts that aren't tied to any specific reason or event, but simply because you crossed his mind. These messages might seem casual, like "How's your day going?" or "Just thinking about you," but underneath them is a quiet truth. He cares. These check-ins aren't about keeping the conversation going for the sake of it. They're his way of staying connected to your world, even when you're not physically together. It means you're present in his thoughts during his routine, in between tasks, or in the quiet spaces of his day. And when someone begins to feel emotionally attached, those moments of silence start to feel too long, so they reach out just to bridge the distance a little. He may not always know what to say, but he wants you to know he's there. It could be a simple emoji, a link to something funny, or a question that doesn't seem important, but it is. It's a sign that he wants to be a part of your everyday life, not just the big moments. These small efforts reflect consistency, and consistency reflects intention. When a man sends you random texts just to check in, he's doing more than communicating. He's building a thread of presence, piece by piece, text by text. It shows that he doesn't need a reason to think of you. He already is. And in a world full of distractions, that kind of steady attention is a quiet, unmistakable sign that his heart is slowly choosing you. 7. He notices your mood without you saying a word. When a man truly begins to care about you, he starts to sense things others might miss, especially your moods. You won't have to explain that something's wrong, because he'll already feel it. Whether your smile is a little forced, your replies are shorter than usual, or your energy is just different, he picks up on the change. He's tuned into you, not just on the surface, but emotionally. This kind of awareness doesn't come from casual interest. It comes from connection. He might ask if you're okay, or simply give you more space without making you feel abandoned. Sometimes he won't say anything at all, but his actions will shift. He'll listen more closely, soften his tone, or try to comfort you in his own quiet way. He notices the silence in your voice, the heaviness in your sighs, and the way your expression changes when you're trying to hold it together. You don't need to spell it out. He already knows something's off. This level of emotional attentiveness is rare. Most people only react when they're told what's wrong, but someone who's emotionally invested starts to feel your ups and downs as if they're his own. Your sadness unsettles him, not because it's inconvenient, but because it matters to him deeply. Your peace becomes something he wants to protect, even if he doesn't have the right words. When a man begins to sense your emotional state without being told, it's a reflection of growing closeness. It means he's paying attention to the parts of you that aren't loud or obvious. And when someone sees you that clearly, without needing an explanation, it's because their heart is already quietly falling for yours. 8. He shares songs, memes, or things that remind him of you. When a man begins to fall for you, his thoughts naturally start drifting toward you during the quiet moments of his day. One of the sweetest and most subtle signs of this emotional shift is when he starts sharing songs, memes, or random things that remind him of you. These shares may seem casual, but they're deeply personal. They show that you're present in his mind, even when you're not around, and that everyday moments are starting to feel connected to you. It could be a song lyric that made him think of something you said, a meme that matches your humor perfectly, or a short video that mirrors a conversation you had. He might send them with a simple, "This reminded me of you," or just drop it into your messages without much context. But behind that small gesture is a bigger truth. He sees you in the details of his world. This kind of sharing isn't about entertainment. It's about building a private connection. When someone likes you deeply, they want to bring you into their daily experience. Sending you things that trigger your laughter, your emotions, or your memories is his way of saying, "You're part of my world now." He wants you to feel seen, understood, and included, even in the smallest interactions. These moments create emotional intimacy without needing deep conversations. They are quiet reminders that he's thinking about you, that your presence in his life is growing stronger. And when someone starts connecting you to the songs they hear and the things that make them smile, it's not just coincidence, it's the early language of love, written in the smallest, most thoughtful ways. 9. He gives you his full attention when you speak. When a man is genuinely developing feelings for you, the way he listens becomes different. He's not just hearing your words, he's absorbing them. He gives you his full attention, not out of politeness, but because he's truly interested in what you're saying. His phone stays down, his eyes stay on you, and his mind doesn't drift elsewhere. In those moments, it's clear you're not just background noise in his day, you're the focus. This kind of attention is rare in a world full of distractions. But when someone starts to care deeply, they naturally become more present. He listens without interrupting, responds thoughtfully, and remembers the details. It's not just about reacting, it's about understanding. Whether you're sharing something exciting, venting about your day, or just talking about something random, He's engaged. He wants to know how you think, how you feel, and what matters to you. This presence creates emotional safety. It lets you speak freely, knowing you're being heard and valued. His attention isn't just physical, it's emotional. He's not listening to reply. He's listening to connect. That's because your voice means something to him now. Your thoughts aren't just interesting, they're important. When someone gives you their full attention in a distracted world, it's a powerful act of love in progress. It says, without words, "You matter to me." And when a man begins to listen like that, to show up with presence and patience, it's because he's not just falling for your appearance. He's falling for your mind, your heart, and your soul. 10. He introduces you to people who matter to him. When a man is truly catching feelings, one of the most meaningful signs is when he begins to introduce you to the people who matter most in his life. Whether it's close friends, family members, or even trusted colleagues, bringing you into his inner circle is a powerful gesture. It shows that he doesn't just see you as someone passing through, he sees you as someone worth integrating into the most personal parts of his world. This kind of introduction is rarely random. It means he values your presence enough to let others see how much you mean to him. It's a quiet form of commitment, a way of saying, "This is someone important to me," even if he hasn't put those feelings into words yet. The people we choose to bring around those we love and trust often reflect how serious we are about them. So when he includes you, he's not just sharing company, he's sharing his life. It also reflects pride and care. He wants others to know about you, to meet the person who's captured his attention and affection. He may smile differently when you're around his people, or watch closely to see how you connect with them. That's because your comfort now matters to him. Not just privately, but publicly. He wants the people he respects to respect you too. Being brought into someone's inner circle is never a small thing. It's a vulnerable step, and it's usually taken only when feelings are real. When a man starts placing you beside the people he values, it means you've already earned a place in his heart, and he's ready for the world to see it, even if he hasn't said it aloud just yet. 11. He gets a little jealous, but hides it respectfully. When a man starts to truly care about you, a natural sense of protectiveness and emotional attachment begins to form. One of the clearest signs of this is a quiet, controlled jealousy, subtle and respectful. He may not voice it directly, and he'll likely try to hide it to avoid seeming possessive, but it shows in the small ways he reacts when he feels someone else getting too close to you. It's not about control or mistrust. It's about the growing fear of losing someone who's starting to matter deeply to him. You might notice it in the way his mood shifts slightly when you mention another guy, or how his expression tightens for a second before he quickly covers it with a smile. He might ask questions in a casual tone, just trying to figure out where you stand, not to interrogate you, but to reassure himself. His silence in certain moments may speak louder than words, and if you're paying attention, you'll see it. He cares more than he's letting on. This kind of jealousy isn't loud or demanding. It's rooted in respect. He doesn't try to control your actions or question your loyalty. He simply feels a little uneasy when others threaten the space he's building with you. It's his way of revealing that he sees you as more than a casual connection, and the thought of someone else holding your attention stirs emotions he didn't expect to feel. When a man quietly navigates these feelings without turning them into pressure or possessiveness, it shows emotional maturity. It means he's falling for you, but also wants to honor your freedom. And that balance between wanting you and respecting you is often where real love begins to grow. 12. He offers help without you having to ask. When a man is truly developing feelings for you, his care begins to show through action more than words. One of the clearest signs is when he offers help without you needing to ask. It could be something as simple as fixing something for you, picking up something you mentioned needing, or checking in when you're overwhelmed. These acts aren't about obligation. They come from genuine attentiveness and a quiet desire to support you in any way he can. He pays attention to your struggles, even the ones you downplay or try to handle alone. Whether you mention being tired, stressed, or stuck with a task, he remembers and he steps in. He doesn't wait to be told what to do because he's already tuned in. Helping you becomes natural to him, not because he wants praise, but because your comfort and ease have started to matter to him on a personal level. This kind of initiative shows emotional investment. It means he's not just observing your life, he's becoming part of it, offering solutions, showing up, and being dependable. He wants to make things easier for you to carry part of the load because he knows you deserve that kind of effort. His help may come quietly, without fanfare, but its meaning runs deep. When someone starts stepping in before you even ask, it's not just kindness, it's connection. He's telling you through consistent action that you're not alone anymore, that someone's watching out for you, not from a distance, but with his heart already leaning in. And in a world where many only do what they're asked, someone who anticipates your needs is often someone whose feelings are growing stronger than even he expected. 13. He remembers your favorite things: food, color, habits. When a man starts falling for you, he begins to remember the small personal details that make you you. Your favorite food, the color you always gravitate toward, the way you stir your coffee, or the exact snack you reach for when you're stressed. These things may seem trivial, but to him, they're not. They're signs of how closely he's paying attention, not because he's trying to impress you, but because he genuinely cares. He stores these little details in his memory because they matter to him. They're not just facts, they're pieces of who you are. When he brings you your favorite drink without asking, chooses something in your favorite color, or recalls a small habit you mentioned in passing, it's a quiet, sincere expression of affection. He wants you to feel seen and understood, and he wants to make you smile in ways that are personal, not generic. This kind of attentiveness shows that he listens not just with his ears, but with his heart. He's tuned into you, even when you don't realize it. The things that bring you joy, comfort, or calm become important to him, because your happiness is slowly becoming part of his own. It's not about grand gestures. It's about intimacy built through consistency and care. When someone remembers your favorite things, they're building a map of your world. They're learning the small ways to love you without asking how. And when those details show up again and again in his actions, it's a quiet but powerful sign that his feelings aren't just growing, they're already rooted deep within him. 14. He smiles when he sees you, even from afar. When a man is truly catching feelings for you, his face often reveals what his words haven't yet said. One of the most genuine signs is the way he smiles when he sees you, even from a distance, even when he thinks you're not looking. It's not a forced or polite smile. It's the kind that comes naturally, effortlessly, because the sight of you genuinely makes him happy. His mood lifts, his eyes soften, and something in him lights up. This kind of smile isn't about manners, it's emotional. It reflects the quiet joy your presence brings him, no matter how small the moment. It might happen when you walk into a room, when he spots you across a street, or even when your name pops up on his phone screen. These reactions aren't rehearsed, they're real. You've become someone who brings him a sense of peace, warmth, and something deeper than surface-level attraction. That smile is often unconscious, which makes it even more telling. It comes from the emotional comfort he feels around you, from the thought that your presence is something he looks forward to. He doesn't need a reason to smile when he sees you. You are the reason. It's his heart responding before his mind has time to catch up. When a man's expression changes the moment you appear, it's because you're not just another person to him. You're someone who matters, someone who's slowly finding a place in his emotions. And in a world where feelings can be complicated, that pure, automatic smile from afar is one of the clearest signs that love is quietly beginning to bloom. 15. He gets quiet when you talk about other guys. When a man is developing real feelings for you, he may not always say exactly how he feels, but his silence often speaks the loudest. One of the most telling moments is when you casually bring up other guys. Whether you're talking about a male friend, someone who complimented you, or just a name in passing, his energy subtly shifts. He gets quieter, more reserved, maybe even distracted for a moment. It's not anger or jealousy in a dramatic way. It's something softer and more vulnerable. That silence comes from the emotional weight your words carry. When he cares about you, the idea of someone else holding your attention stings in a quiet, personal way. He might not feel he has the right to say anything, especially if nothing's official between you, so instead, he withdraws a little. Not because he's upset with you, but because he's unsure where he stands, and that uncertainty hurts more than he expected. This reaction is not about insecurity or control. It's about unspoken feelings, about the hope that maybe he's the one who's starting to matter most to you. When someone's falling, they often protect their heart before it's safe to reveal it. So when you talk about other guys and he gets quiet, it's not indifference. It's the opposite. It's emotion trying to stay composed. That shift in his tone, the pause in his response, the subtle change in his eyes, it all reveals more than words ever could. Because when a man is silently affected by the mention of someone else, it's often because his heart is already attached. And in that stillness, you can often hear the sound of feelings he's not quite ready to confess.